Alright, this is the final chapter, number 20, the installment, I should say, of the Book of Enlightenment, Book of Remembrance. And we are revisiting history, looking at the lily of light in history. It starts out with rock art, the book did, and it shows hunter-gatherer here on the left with his bow and backpack. And then a transformation as he becomes pastoralist. His head becomes much more like a mushroom. Still has the male member as a guiding tool. And here, under full pastoralist, he is actually saying, I am part of the mushroom. And it's shown in his body, and in his head, and in the lack of a tool, since that's all it is. A tool for pleasure and for recreation. So this again is a mushroom man in recreation mode, and this is the rock art man 6,000 years ago, 4,000 BC in Algeria. These guys, the line of Seth, seem to have built the pyramids, which is being shown here. Mushroom users holding up mushrooms with mushroom heads, as you can see, and the stars coming down to form the pyramid, which the pyramid is used for. It has looking holes to look for the stars. They were the first ones to come up with a calendar. Alright, so the arrow, I want you to remember this because it's a guiding principle through history. The arrow, his head is like a mushroom, but it's also like an arrowhead, and out of his head are arrow shafts. It doesn't mean he's shot full of arrows, it means he's on the mushroom. This is the arrow shaft, or the tail of Seth. And this is the mushroom man of South Africa. We just saw the Algerian version. This is the mushroom man becoming the anteater, or Seth, the line of Seth, holding up a mushroom. This is Seth here in the Egyptian artwork as the anteater, and this is the animal of Seth with the arrow tail. We can see the eye of Horus above him, but those two weren't allies. Horus was the son of Osiris, and Seth killed Osiris, according to legends, which we know were really just retelling of the story of Nimrod versus God's people. History in symbolism. This is a Psilocybin Pinnalia species, active. The deluge in the nations. We'll make this brief because I know not everyone wants to be a Bible scholar. Out of Noah came 3 sons. These sons begat other sons, one of which became Nimrod. But Mizraim was one of the sons of Ham, and he is also called Egypt because he moved down to Egypt, and so they named it after him. Cush, Sudan and Ethiopia peoples. Ham means colored one, or one of color. Midnight talks a little bit about this. The musician Midnight, M-I-D-N-I-G-H-T. If you can decode his words and his accent, you'll hear him talk about Ham. They call us Ham, which means the pig, and that we have pigmentation. And the main theme has been that the sacrament, Psilocybin, is where the Holy Bible came from, and you can trust its words with your life. Amsterdam Advice. This is a page talking about the use of psilocybin and how you should, as a practitioner of it, go about starting off, maybe with the first 5 grams being the heroic dose that Terence McKenna put out, and then leading to the baptismal dose of 7 grams, and this being your first high doses. Then you'll, too, be able to see outside of the mundane reality into the inner workings of the universe itself, which is very helpful no matter what line of business you're in. Conclusionary notes. The cup of Christ. And the message of this book. How can you know that Jesus Christ really ate psilocybin and gave it to his disciples? Jesus tells us this. He says at the Last Supper that I will not drink again of this vine until I drink it anew in the kingdom of heaven. Meaning after the cross, after he's died. So on the cross, they take one of the Gospels says they take a wine, vinegar, in a sponge and put it up to his lips. And he drinks it and says, it is done. And he gives up his spirit. So if you took wine, vinegar, that's from the same vine as the grape. So if it was the grape wine that was being had at the Last Supper, then he would have broken his word. And he's a man of his word. That I can testify to very well. Lastly, as America needs some support, there is the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and in its lyrics it says very clearly, Christ born among the lilies across the sea. So now we know where Christ came from. The end. Thank you for staying for the whole thing. All right. God bless you, and we'll see you upstairs.